Look at that animation.
Yes.
Fun fact, he likes lasagna. And now, this is something everyone knows. This is the basics of Garfield. But I wanna get deeper. So,
Oh my God,
let's meet him and his family. This is them. Beautiful people. So let's start with Garfield, the fat kitty cat himself. He had his first public appearance in 1978, June 19th, which is his official birthday within the lore. And he was born in the back alley of Mama Leone's kitchen, and he was dropped there with alley cats and his mother, and he ended up being given away and given to John Arbuckle because he ate so much lasagna that he almost ran Mama Leone out of business.
Oh, God.
A little bit about him is he's actually a Maine Coon tabby cat, which is a subspecies, and I actually own one. Kitty cat, or what's it, Kiki Bones Jones, kitty cat, weighs 20 pounds, and I believe Garfield weighs 22 in the show. He hates everything, prefers the sandbox over outside, and there's possible allegations of him being Catholic or Jewish. The show fluctuates certain things, but there's definitely some religious messages throughout the show. And he doesn't like salad, or not salad.
Raisins.
He doesn't like raisins. Not in a salad, not in a cereal, bread, nothing.
Me neither.
You don't like them?
I really don't like raisins.
Yeah,
There's just something about them.
They're just I don't like them in salads.
Yeah. And salad, I don't like them in anything. Like, I don't know. I don't get why people put them in macaroni.
Macaroni?
Yeah, they put them in, like, macaroni. So I'm like, what are you talking about?
That is gross.
It's disgusting. And also, like, oatmeal cookies.
I don't mind those, but they're not my favorite.
Yeah. All right, next slide. Let's go.
Fun fact is Garfield's still relevant. With time evolving and changing, he's still found ways to be relevant today, such as Fortnite dances, including the dab. Odie. He had his first appearance a couple of months later into the comic strip, and he would be introduced, but we'll talk about how he's introduced later. He is most likely a beagle, but it's not confirmed in the show, movies, or anything because it fluctuates. Like in the live action movies, he's a different dog than he is in this. So there's controversy on that. Yeah. And in the comics, he's actually only had one thought, which is what I mean by that is like an actual quote or thought bubble.
Yeah.
They don't show anything where he talks or really has emotion except for once in the comics. And something that might contribute to that is the fact that he's possibly brainless. There are multiple different I don't know, things in the show that show that he might completely have no brain or anything, such as something included with the alien invasion. There's the episode Attack of the Space Lasagnas, where they come down in the ship and they shoot some type of laser beam on him, and it says that he has 0% brain power. Also, he's scared of aliens, so a bit more personal things.
I feel like it's very personal for him.
It is personal.
It's gotta be. It's gotta be traumatic, you know?
I think so. Being dumb is.
No, I don't think it's that. I think it's the aliens. Like.
You think so? They probably probed him, took out his brain.
That's what I'm talking about.
His favorite holiday is Halloween, and he enjoys Sudoku puzzles, crossword puzzles, and poetry. So maybe he is kind of an intellect, but we don't know.
Yeah, definitely.
Fun fact about Odie is he wasn't originally owned by John. He was owned by a character named Lyman, and this is actually his first comic strip. Lyman would later leave the comic strip unannounced. He just he just doesn't show up again. Yeah. He's only really introduced for the few couple of months. He's shown in like some of the movies and cartoons, but in terms of like the lore of his character, goes away. He was originally just moving in with John. Yeah. And then Odie just ends up being John's pet.
Yeah.
So John Arbuckle. His birthday is July 28th, and he's the second owner of Garfield after Mama Leone. He's scared of ghosts, which is shown in many episodes, even one of my favorite specials that they ever did. And he prefers unleaded gasoline. He's a musician. Polka is his favorite genre, and he plays guitar, accordion, and harmonica.
Dude, you know what he looks like?
Who?
He looks like Paul McCartney in that picture.
Kind of. I see it, actually. I can see that.
He really does.
His age is unknown. They say sometimes he's 20, sometimes he's 30, and sometimes even 40. It's all over the place. I really don't know.
Yeah.
And the internet doesn't know either, so as of now, his age is unconfirmed. Fun fact, is Garfield's character is actually named after Jim Davis's grandfather. His name was Garfield Davis.
Nice.
So yeah, and also this is probably one of my favorite photos of all time.
Hitting that yeet, you know?
Hitting that yeet.
Just wake up in bed and just hitting that yeet.
Hitting that yeet all day.
Yeah, man.
Nermal, our final main character, had his first appearance 2 years later. It's September 3rd of the comic strip. And he was a gray tabby cat, but not a Maine Coon, so he's actually a midget cat.
Yes.
And he's portrayed as Garfield Nemesis, even though they're supposed to be family and shit.
Yeah.
He was originally owned by John's parents, but that's a plot line that they don't go back to. They say that he comes over and he's like, oh, this is my mom's cat or whatever. And they do kind of mention some parts about him being owned by the parents later, but it's also kind of disregarded in certain plot lines.
All right.
Garfield, since it's his arch nemesis, has shipped him to, I don't know how to pronounce that, and I'm not going to try, but someplace 24 times, and it's a running gag where whenever he pisses him off, he'll just ship him somewhere else.
Yes.
And there's actually a special episode where he gets shipped to the North Pole,
yes.
and Santa Claus ships him back.
Yes.
And he drinks coffee, which is really weird for a cat, but yeah.
Drinking coffee.
Fun fact is, Garfield, Odie, and John smoke tobacco. It's shown in the comic strips multiple times of drug use. Which, yeah, dude, I really put some major work into that.
That's really great.
Now, where could my pipe be? This is actually a beautiful... I want to say something real fast outside of this. This is a very beautiful comic strip. It's probably one of my favorite in the series. There's a whole hour-long video on YouTube talking about why this is one of the best Garfield comics. And
this right here is a Twitter header.
It is.
I'm just saying.
This is beautiful.
Yeah, that's the whole layout.
Now about the creator of Garfield, Jim Davis, aka James Jim Robert Davis, his full name, was born 1945, July 15th, in USA, in Indiana. His inspiration for the cartoons and a lot of his other work is actually from his home life, where he lived with 25 different cats. His parents were fanatics about pets, just owned a bunch of stuff. So yeah, but originally, Garfield wasn't the focus of the show. It was supposed to be about John Arbuckle.
For real?
It was supposed to be about John Arbuckle and his life being surrounded by pets. But later, agents and other writers for the show thought it'd be better to focus more on Garfield.
Yes.
So they did that. Funny enough, his first wife was allergic to cats, and they divorced. I don't know if it's because of the cat thing, but
I believe
they
it's
did
a cat thing.
I think it probably is. His achievements are creating Paws Incorporation, which is a huge animation industry right now. And underneath Paws Incorporated, they have won 14 different awards, including Emmys and things like that, or whatever. Wait, is Emmys the right one?
Emmy's got to be one of them.
I don't know. It's one of them.
And Oscars too, maybe.
Did you see that? Look at that real fast. I want to brag about how good that animation is. Wow.
He did
and
that.
That's a cool GIF.
It's a GIF, not a GIF.
Now, let's talk about the actual show.
Yes.
This is the chunks that matter.
Let's get right into it.
So there's two main series shows throughout the lifetime of Garfield, starting with Garfield and Friends, which would actually take characters from Orson's Farm, a.k.a. U.S. Acres, the name outside of America.
Yeah.
And they had many segments, but most of the episodes revolved around Garfield. And this ran from about 1988 to 1994 with 500 episodes and fucking a bunch of seasons. Yes. I actually own some of the DVDs. It's a very good show. I think I like this one better than the Garfield show, actually. But then there was the Garfield show, the 3D adaptation that ran from 2009 to 2016. Other films were, of course, the live actions, Garfield the movie, which is actually my least favorite out of all these movies. It's funny to look back in retrospect because it's so terrible, but jumping to 2006, Garfield the Tale of Two Kitties is a much, much better.
Can I just say something?
Yes.
That Comic Sans font?
Oh,
Was that your idea?
Yes, that was my idea.
Oh, nice.
I love Comic Sans. I could not do it. But yes, Tale of Two Kitties is a better film. And then they would stop this series of live action and go back into 3D with Garfield Gets Real, which is a very experimental film, I'll actually say. It kind of broke the boundaries of filmmaking, if you ask me. It kind of broke the plot of Garfield. They discover that they're in a comic. They live in a comic world. It's very, fourth wall breaking.
A comic world.
It's a comic world.
That's
and then
crazy.
they break out of the comic and go to real life. That's how Garfield gets real. And then later, not correlated with the other film, there's Garfield's Fun Fest, which is kind of a compilation, mini shorts and stuff. And then most recently was Garfield's Pet Force, which is a good movie, but I have not finished it.
This was released in 2009.
2009. There is another Garfield movie in works, they say, but I don't know. News is to be announced and released, but we'll find out more later. So a couple of differences that I want to talk about in the movies, the live-action movies specifically, is it's weird. They change things that don't really matter, but they do change things. Odie, no longer owned by Lionel or John, is actually owned by what's her name? Liz Wilson, who is yes, Dr. Liz Wilson, who is the love woman of John in the comics and movies. John drives a Volo, a red Volo, instead of a blue Honda, like in the comics.
Oh, no.
And then, in this alternate universe, Dr. Liz Wilson is actually married to John Arbuckle, whereas in the comics, she completely rejects him. So it's a weird plot line.
It's weird.
And in this, Nermal is no longer a tabby cat, like Garfield, but is a Siamese cat. And Arlene, one of Garfield's love interests, she's a side character, so I didn't talk about her much. But she has gray fur and not pink fur like in the comics and TV shows.
Dang, man.
Other medias that they've done, these are the original specials. These were done before there was even a TV show, actually, because CBS picked up the series and they did 9 different specials that were 30 minutes long. And then after the TV show started, they did additional 5, starting with Garfield 9 Lives to Garfield Gets a Life. All very good. The only one that I don't really like that much is none of them. I love them all. I love Garfield so much, actually.
Yes.
Additional content is Garfield the Musical. It's the musical with a catitude. And it's very, very amazing. I personally haven't gotten to see it live, although they are still touring, actually. And the plot line of this is his birthday falls on a Monday. And we all know Garfield hates Mondays. It's tragic. It's unbelievable.
Yes.
But yes, created by Jim Davis, Michael Danziger, and Bill Maid. It's just the plot that Garfield's birthday is on a Monday and no one remembers. And he's all sad. He's like, fuck, I wish I had a good birthday, but they don't.
Yeah.
But started touring in 2011. And their next showing, which actually, this is old. They did a show July 22nd in Indiana, the town that Jim Davis was born in, this summer.
Oh, this summer.
Which I think was really cool. But yeah, I missed out on that.
Dang, man.
Now I want to talk about something different. These are the Garfield video games. There was a lot, and I'm not going to get into too much detail because these games really fucking suck. I mean, look at these reviews. 4 out of 10, 6 out of 10, 5 out of 10, 4 out of 10, 4 out of 10, 6 out of 10, 8 out of 10. Okay, these
7
games
out of
get
10.
better. They get a bit better. I've actually played The Search for Pookie, which not a bad game. I find it somewhat fun. And these games also, I mean, fucking 1 out of 10.
Oh, question mark right
and
there.
I couldn't find a review for this, actually. This is an obscure
That's how
game.
much it sucks.
The
Which one was that
Atari,
called?
the Atari ST Garfield's Winter Tale was a very obscure game. Wasn't released for long. And yeah, so obscure I couldn't even find anything about its ratings.
That's awful.
But yeah, next. This is just a funny meme I found. Garfield memes. I want to talk about my favorite episode. Garfield in Paradise. Garfield in Paradise is just one of those episodes in a TV show where it blows your mind. It goes places unexpected. Heartwarming episode.
Heartwarming.
A quick summary of the plot is Garfield and John Arbuckle go on this really shitty vacation on a not real Hawaii, but it's like a fake Hawaii resort.
Yeah.
And it ends up being terrible. Shit doesn't go well. There's a volcano. They almost fucking get sacrificed. My dad needs to stop being such an... Oh, meatloaf. Anyways.
Johnny Test.
Yeah. What was I saying? Oh, blah, 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 blah. Eventually, all this shit goes down, and they leave the paradise, but it's a really good episode.
Great.
It was released May 27th of 1986. It was actually before the TV show, so this was one of the original CBS specials. It won a Primetime Emmy Award for being Outstanding Animated Program. It was the 5th CBS special. This was a little bit before the TV show went into production.
Yeah.
And there was even a book adaptation made of the special. I haven't gotten to personally read it, but I'm sure it's very good. Fun fact is Jim Davis doesn't make the comics anymore.
Oh, no.
It's been a long time, actually, since he's been doing comics. But the daily comic strip does go, and it's posted on websites and newspapers and shit like that. But he doesn't write them anymore. It's teams of writers, and I'm pretty sure they have jokes stockpiled now. Or they just, randomly choose one and release it. But, yes.
Really sad.
Now, this is the evolution of Garfield. He has changed a lot. I actually have the original comics. And, I mean, this is what he looked like. It changes. The eyes get bigger. He gets less chunky. Memes. But, yeah, I don't know. My personal favorite Garfield is probably the 90s because it feels the most, I don't
90s.
know, most original to me.
90s is such a great era.
Yeah, it's just noticeable. Everything's good about it. I just love Garfield. A bit more. That doesn't matter. Those don't matter. Wow. Anyways, I hope you had a great day.
Yay!
I hope you liked this. This is my presentation. I don't know how to exit out of this.
Okay.
But yeah, that's my